Hi, welcome once again to the reading room. Never mind. A little behind the scenes tomfoolery and such things going on. Today is Sunday.
It's Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes, it is. Oh, we can't say that. We have to say the big game.
Oh, the big. Why do we have to?
We don't really have to do it because we don't make any money out of this. So anyway, it's the 4th of February, 2018. Now, he doesn't have an excuse for not wearing a uniform.
No, I don't.
You don't. See, I have...
I just walked through the doors.
I know. You notice I have a change of gear this week. And being as how the t-shirts that we wear as the uniform that have this logo on them were brought to us by the generosity of Brother Ed. Brother Ed definitely understands why I decided to change up the armor today. So
I didn't want to be alone.
What's that?
I didn't want to be alone.
You don't want to be alone. You mean like I was the first week?
Yes,
shut up. Okay, so there you go. So it is the... I'm not going to talk about sports ball, just fly, Eagles, fly.
Eagles fanboy.
Yeah, Eagles. Hey, you own a couple pieces of Dallas Cowboys memorabilia. Yes, a couple. So this is episode 27 of the Reading Room.
It is.
acpodcast1@gmail.com. Facebook.com/theComicShop1. ComicShop1 on Instagram. TCS Podcast on Twitter, but I still haven't quite got that as up and running as I'd like to. So there you go.
You got the house book. So
I got the house book. I got the house book and then one other little thing that I just want to flash because it got me. All right, so we're back again with Mage. It's been a little bit. This is issue 5 of Mage.
The thing about you did.
The Hero Denied. Yeah. And I don't know what happened. I actually had to check the last time we had an issue of Mage on to make sure that I didn't miss an issue because, it starts off, and this is quite obviously a flashback. He has hair.
Oh, okay.
And we've heard the character of Mirth talked about, and this is stuff that I still have not got yet.
This is old stuff.
Yes, I still have not got familiar with the first 2 volumes of this book, of this title. So this is the character called Mirth, who's been name-dropped a couple of times in Hero Denied. And they're in a sewer, and they're having a conversation, and they...
Oh, boy.
Yes. They hunt down... They're hunting down this creature, and they find this creature, and... I'm not going to try to pronounce what it's called, but it has 3 heads and it looks like a 3-headed buzzard. Yes, so
vulture, buzzard, whatever.
This is a flashback. This is a story that he is telling to his son. Because apparently between issue 4 and issue 5, more than a year has passed.
Oh, they did a time jump.
They're all back together in this different house, which is kind of a rundown place. Magda, who is the wife, is working the real estate market, and I guess trying to... They have a purple cat. I don't think they had a purple cat before. They have a purple cat now.
Okay.
And its name is Chloe. So, like I said, there's been a time jump. She's working the real estate market, trying to find some place that they can, and he's not the first time they've referenced, or she's referenced, something that they find, anoint it with, this is the stuff that she was brewing in the crock pot up in the attic.
Camelot.
And it will be our Camelot. Just a reference to the fact that this part of this character's history is a Pendragon. So this is, like I said, time has passed. The Umber Mother's been apparently sleeping for a year or more, and she wakes up, and you just revisit her in the Grackle Thorns, and it's talking about finding the Fisher King, the thing with the homeless shelter, where they're just slowly going to basically kill all of them in their search for the Fisher King. And picking up where we left off, even though I didn't really realize we were leaving off anywhere. I was kind of bemused when I started reading the book.
Well, she didn't get a new one, so there's still only 2 instead of 3 Gacklethorns.
That's true. So now you've got, and then he's in a bookstore looking up, like, fantastical creatures of legend, be properly just doing research. And this guy shows up who runs fast, and it's Joe Fat. And apparently he's probably a character from, like, according to this, they haven't seen each other in 10 years.
Huh.
So this is, I'm assuming, another character from
And he's a speedster.
the history of the case. He's a speedster of some form or another. So they get together. They talk about Kirby Hero's dead. a lot of this is the book that really told me that I have been delinquent in not getting in the backstory of this character, because there's stuff going on here that I'm sure would make a lot more sense to me if I knew a lot more of what happened in the first 2 volumes, and it is, admittedly, I have been delinquent. So they're walking around, and they go into an alley at the end, and they find this thing that's a questing beast, which apparently has some significance that I don't know, because of previously...
It's a questing beast.
It's a questing beast. So, yeah, this is kind of I think this is kind of a bridge issue, which I don't know why they did the time jump. They don't give a specific reason for having done the time jump. So there you go. I mean, it's still basically the same story. It's the same. Obviously, nothing's really changed. Just this is the one where I wish I knew more about the character.
Well, get on it.
I still haven't read the books that I've told you I was going to read like 6 months ago. Unless it's homework, I'm bad at it. I'm bad at keeping up on reading, I admit it. So anyway, Mage, the Hero Denied, continues. This is issue 5. I think this is a 15 issue. This is going to be 15 issues, so we're going to have this for a little while longer.
15, so
yes, we are going to have this for just a little while longer. Still recommend it. Absolutely. So there you go. Now, this other thing I brought up only because this last panel I was like, yeah.
Sort of an origin story.
It's an origin story. This is Injustice 2. You know, I've featured the the annual Wonder Woman's backstory. And so I'm reading through this, and what I'm just going to show you one panel. A Mazo. This version of a Mazo figures prominently. This one, Harley and Ivy kind of figure in this too. But there's a one panel at the end, and I should have seen it coming. I'm a bona fide idiot. I really should have seen it coming, like without a doubt. It's just, and all of a sudden I turn to the last page of the story proper. There's a backup here too, but the last page of the story proper, and all of a sudden, here it is.
Origin of Dexter.
I was like, oh yeah.
Well, there's a few panels on the last page.
I mean,
that lead to him
you go
having
down.
A bad day.
You go down, and basically, it's very much like it's not. It's completely different from the actual canonical origin of Dexter. But once again, it's a cat legitimately having the worst day of its life. And I was like, oh man, that was it was glorious. I turned the page, and like I said, I should have seen it coming, because the cat figures prominently in like every third panel. Not prominently, but in the back, just to sow the seeds. And I was like, I turned the page, and there's the bat wing hanging off, and it's just like, and isn't it lovely? Isn't it lovely? I mean, and my brother and I share an opinion that Dexter has canonically the most tragic origin story in DC Comics, if not comics. Well, I don't care.
I'm not aware of the actual origin.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's awful.
Well, especially if you're an animal lover, it's awful. Just straight up awful.
Well, he's a Red Lantern after all, so it should be awful.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Batman doesn't get a lot of sympathy for his parents being killed in that alley. Dexter all day long.
Okay, is it good?
Yes. Okay.
At the behest of Charles Cobb.
Yeah.
And because they're really cool, I have issues 1, 2, and 3, of which I'm only going to look at one. You can see the other 2 covers here. So we're going to check out Doomsday Clock.
Doomsday Clock, which I have not gotten into yet. I have not gotten into this yet.
This is a wordy book. If anybody's familiar with the Watchmen, this is very similar.
Well,
lots and lots.
Watchmen there's a thematically pretty heavy piece of work.
Very, very wordy book. Now, in Watchmen proper, Veidt ends up not being dead, but we got Rorschach was dead, and that's not the case anymore in here.
Yeah.
He's a different person, but he's in here.
Okay. Well, you kind of got to. I mean,
well, it's his narration is all these. That's his narration, and it's just crazy. But they're still in the Watchmen world as of here, and they're dealing with the aftermath of the invasion monster that landed in New York.
The book version, not the movie version.
Yes. But the book version. And it's just crazy stuff.
Apparently.
There's so many words, I can't even really tell you.
Yeah.
But we will give you some sorted screenshots. There's this really good one. This prisoner grabbing a cop, knocking him loose.
I like the art.
Yeah, it's good.
I like it's some extremely realistic art.
Rorschach.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, it starts off with Rorschach, and just going crazy. And here's a couple soldiers that have been told to launch their payloads, and they're talking back and forth and not believing what's happening. And that seems to be like a side thing that fades away quickly. Back to Rorschach.
I really like this art.
Yeah.
Like, this is exactly the opposite of the stylized stuff that I usually don't like. That's so. Yeah. They got this hyper realistic almost style. Yeah.
And he's looking for her in particular.
Right.
Who?
I'm gonna screenshot this page too, because the way the woman's face is drawn is kind of exemplifying what I mean about the way the art is in this book.
Yeah. I'm not sure what her name is. Rorschach, he says. Yeah. Well, she's she's kind of like a Harley Quinn, kind of, but a little more violent. He's trying to take her with him to help out on this mission, and she's like, I ain't leaving without my husband. And her husband is apparently called the Mime. Is this guy?
Okay.
And he's straight up taking a beating. And she says, come on, honey, we're leaving. And all of a sudden, he just kicks everybody's butt.
The Mime is doing the butt kicking, yes.
Yeah.
I see.
He takes everybody out pretty quick. He was just taking a beating bad. And he just all of a sudden, no.
Yeah, his wife kind of describes his process. Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, it's odd. It's very odd.
It's okay.
So now they have to go find the locker to get his things. And you can see his things are nothing. He's putting on a pretend belt and holding and cocking a pretend gun.
Interesting.
So, you think he's crazy, but you see later on that he's not that crazy. So they're in a train tunnel, and you can see.
It's New York. There's the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, it is New York. It's Watchmen, New York.
Yeah.
But he pulls out his fake gun. Don't point the imaginary gun at me. And he's like, I forget where I'm going. Right or left? Right or left? Right. Right. So they make it into, which would be Owlman's old lair.
Right.
With Rorschach and Owlman. And there's, what the hell do they call himself?
Ozymandias.
Whatever.
Yes. Conrad Bite.
Right. But, like, she's got a screwdriver. And she's threatening him, because at this point, everybody in the world knows that he's the guy responsible. It wasn't Dr. Manhattan. And he's like the most wanted man. So, this girl and the Mime and Rorschach and him, Ozymandias, and then he's getting stricken with these weird headache things. It turns here pretty soon. Yeah. This is a slumbering Kent.
Okay. So now we're in Metropolis.
Well, and this goes, he's having his own little flash, like a dream. And if you read it, it seems similar to somebody else's story.
Okay.
It's a lot of reading, by the way. And then he wakes up. He says, can't remember the last time you've ever had a nightmare. I don't think I ever have had one. Dedicated to Ledley.
I don't think I've ever had one. Dedicated to Ledley. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's newspaper clippings that are, they're actual poignant, but they're just a lot to read. Yeah. There's a menu from Joe's Morning.
Morning Joe's.
Morning Joe's, whatever.
Okay.
Like I said, if you liked Watchmen, you will like this book.
Okay, how about if you like DC proper? Will you like that book?
Well, Watchmen, too. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
it's similar to the story of the Watchmen.
Right.
And as the story progresses, it involves more proper DC Prime characters to the growing list of Watchmen characters.
Okay.
So yeah, I have 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Well, leave me issue 1, and sometime between now and next July, I'll get it read.
Tuesday,
Maybe
second Tuesday of next week.
the second Tuesday of next week.
Yeah.
There's gonna be 2 Tuesdays next week.
No.
2 Tuesdays. He bleeds up his nose. All right. So we've got Doomsday Clock #1 at the behest and the suggestion of Mr. Charles Cobb, and the house book, and a little bit of Dexter goodness up in this one. So there you go. That is episode 27 of the Reading Room for the 4th of February, 2018. Hopefully, a date which will live in my fond memories forever. We'll see here in about 6 hours. So what's that?
I could be an Eagles fan for
That
a day.
says a lot, being a Cowboys fan. You know, probably won't find any Giants fans saying it. All right, so acpodcast1@gmail.com, facebook.com/thecomic-shop1. The podcast, or the Comic Shop 1 on Instagram. Wow. I know, man. I'm trying not to flash forward to the football game. I'm really not. It's a big deal for an Eagles fan anytime they get into it, because it doesn't ever happen. Just saying. All right, so there you go. Be well. We will be back with you again next week. Fly, Eagles, fly. I had to.
I know.
Okay. All right.